Hey, welcome to Two Doctors Homestead. My name's Daniel, and I saw some reports of something pretty alarming, so I wanted to jump on here and get all the information I have about it out there. It seems like something people should know about. So there are reports of possible, rumors of possible Ebola or Marburg type contagion at Burning Man 2023. Now I'm seeing reports of people saying no, nothing like that going on, but then you see reports of people saying, hey, there's people coughing up coagulated blood, boils, vomiting, and we'll get into that. So I couldn't say at this point either way if anything's going on, but I figured I'd jump in, explain what Burning Man is, and then talk a little bit about some of the strange things going on there in 2023. So Burning Man is a 6-day clothing optional event in Black Rock City, Nevada. From what I've read, you can expect parties fueled by MDMA, acid, and nitrous oxide whippets. I'd say statistically the majority of people who go aren't sober, and that's a quote about someone that's gone to the event. Now, if you look at what it costs to go, it's between $600 and $800, depending for gate fees, and if you want to park an RV, sleeping in a tent, plus the cost to get there, right? Black Rock City, Nevada. So it's certainly not for the faint of heart in terms of cost, or what type of people they're attracting there, right? So for $600 to $800, you get 6 days of partying in their utopian society. Apparently, they try to create an atmosphere as their utopian society, and I suspect the MDMA, acid, and nitrous oxide probably helps with that. So it's quite a party. And it ends with the burning a 75-foot tall giant statue. So 6 days in the desert, lots of drugs, and then you burn a giant statue, right? If that sounds like fun, it's only $600 to $800 to get in, plus the cost to get there. So right now there's over 70,000 people at the event, and they're trapped. There's giant storms and flooding. I've seen some of the pictures, seen some first-hand accounts, and huge storm hit, lots of flooding, cars stuck in the mud, and apparently FEMA has locked the entire event down, and they're saying there's potential for more flooding, a great flood perhaps, and reports that there's one person dead, which of course is always unfortunate, but maybe not entirely unexpected of an event of that magnitude. So as I said, allegedly, and I've seen people's first-hand reports saying FEMA is on site, everything's locked down. And then there's the maybe something else. So I saw a video of someone who had a private jet that attended the event and tried to kind of fly out early, and there was some weird kind of quarantine thing going at the airport. I can't confirm any of that. It's just what I saw watching the video. And then you're seeing people at the event saying, giving reports of someone or people with Ebola-like symptoms, coughing up coagulated blood, vomiting, and boils. So that doesn't sound very good at all, especially with 75,000 people trapped at this camp in the desert, mud, not getting out. You imagine there's some close proximity. I mean, if it was something like that, and I'm not saying it is, it's quite a super spreader type event, right? Sanitation has to be difficult in those situations. So I want to jump in, right? Let's say hypothetically, not saying it is Ebola, not saying it is Marburg, not saying it's anything, but these kind of things, they kind of have to jump to mind and say, is that going on? If you look at Ebola, and they're very rare, Ebola and Marburg, very rare statistically. So symptoms would appear in 2 to 21 days with an average of 8 to 10 days. If it was Marburg, symptoms would appear in 5 to 7 days. So I mean, if someone there was infected, it's going to take at least a week before anyone that was in contact with that person would show symptoms, right? So hopefully it's certainly not something we want. You wouldn't want thousands of people to be in contact with something horrible like Ebola or Marburg, and then they go home, right? At some point at the end of this, they're going to go home. So you have the incubation period certainly is working against. Said FEMA apparently has the place locked down, so I suspect if it is something horrible like that, they're not going to let anybody out. I don't know quite how that works with 70,000 people trapped in the desert, but some of the primary signs of Ebola After the incubation period, in the beginning, you get fever, aches and pains, weakness and fatigue, sore throat, loss of appetite, gastrointestinal symptoms, including abdominal pain, diarrhea, and vomiting, unexplained hemorrhaging, bleeding, or bruising. And those are the first phase symptoms. And if you do get Ebola, it's pretty horrible and it doesn't end well. But certainly if you had a chance, you were in contact with somebody that was in contact with anybody, you'd want to go to the doctor if something like that happened. Now, the same thing with Marburg. Now, there was a Marburg outbreak in 2023 in Equatorial Guinea, 16 confirmed cases, 12 deaths, right? So, I mean, there is some concern of Marburg being out there, and I know I've seen talk of Marburg before. Similar to Ebola, 5 to 7 days, fever, chills, severe headache, cough, muscle or joint pain, sore throat, or rash. And then after it gets worse is where you get the abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, dizziness, unintended weight loss, bloody poop, vomit, bleeding from your nose, mouth, and eyes, and confusion. So any symptoms list that includes bleeding from your nose, mouth, and eyes is a no for me. Not interested, right? We're happy to be sitting here on the homestead enjoying a beautiful day, right? So I'm not saying it is Ebola, I'm not saying it is Marburg, I'm not trying to spread fear, but certainly there should be awareness, if nothing else. You know, the 70,000 people trapped at quite an event in the desert. I don't think they're going to get to burn down their 75-foot statue at the end the way it sounds. So wanted to get that out there. Once again, not trying to spread fear. You know, just keep an eye on the news. You certainly wouldn't want to get affected with anything like that. It does require close proximity, so don't go near anything like that. So I hope that helps out. Wanted to get this out there. Once again, I saw it, and I'm like, whoa, and I'm not seeing anything in the news. So I wanted to kind of spread that information. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully it's nothing, and you'd expect in a couple days we'll know. So thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.